Good afternoon, y'all. Today we are going to be busting out these new Ur Dragon sleeves. These were gifted to me by a buddy of mine. Really cool guy. He saw these came out, connect with the shop. They haven't been out yet. Remembered I play my Ur Dragon deck quite frequently. And he gifted these to me. Pretty cool. Nice gift. So what we're going to do is swap out my sleeves right now. I currently have or had these on them. And funny enough, these were also a gift from a Dragon Shield employee. He saw that I was building this deck back in I think 2020 when Ur Dragon first came out with the precon. And when the Kaleidoscope Killers came out, I started building a little more heavy and actually playing it. So he gifted these to me. So these are actually going to go on my Kinnan deck. He is my CEDH commander that I'm building. Everybody knows that he does. Really nasty, really fun. But we'll do a video on him later. He's almost there. I think I'm about 70 cards in, 60 to 70, somewhere in there. Almost there. We just have the artifacts to grab and a couple more game changers. But first and foremost, before we get into the sleeving, I'm going to give these two commander decks away. First one goes away when I hit 500 subscribers. We'll do something of the sort. We'll figure it out down the road, but I'll give one of them away. It'll be the winner's choice. And the second one, we'll throw something a little bit extra in. But this is going to be the Grave Danger commander deck in the first flight. You have Gisa and Geralf, and you have Esperia, Supreme Judge. Pretty cool decks. Human Wizard, Sphinx, dual color. Really nice decks, especially if you're getting in the game or you want to play a little more casual decks. Getting tired of playing those high fours, maybe, bust one of these out. But we'll be giving these away. Make sure you get your friends to subscribe. If you have not subscribed, please do. But let's get into sleeving. So excuse my rough hands. I had just replaced the clutch on my motorcycle. But past that, let's get into re-sleeving my Ur Dragon deck. So I will be kind of going through it and explaining what I have, showing what I have and why I have it, why it belongs in the deck in my opinion. And yeah, if you have any suggestions on what I should put in it, let me know. I always like seeing what other people do. I'm always expanding this deck, changing it. It's never ending. Magic is always great like that. So I do like to keep it kind of dragon tribal. Maybe we can get this a little bit stronger, a little bit faster. But yeah, we'll just show you what I have for now. But for starts, of course, we have Ur Dragon himself. Right, so this is a 9 CMC. Let's go ahead and take this out to the sleeve. We're not going to re-sleeve him. He's going to go back in that blue one, but yeah, 9 CMC, and 5 of it is one of each Webberg. Okay, so he has Eminence. That means it affects on the battlefield or the command zone, either or. As long as the Ur Dragon is in the command zone or on the battlefield, other dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So he does not get the reduction. Other dragons do, okay? And he has flying. And this is the best part of him. Whenever one or more dragons you control attack, draw that many cards, then you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. So this is after you declare attackers is when this stacks. Before blockers are declared, before combat, any of that. So if you have an enchantment that can give your dragons a buff, or a dragon that can give your dragons a buff, or you want to go ahead and drop Draco Genesis on the battlefield for free, this will do it. That's gets dragons out really fast, really nasty, um, really fun to play with. So let's get him back into here, and we'll put him right there. So after we sleeve them up, we'll be able to see the back of the sleeve. So now let's bust out the sleeves, since we're not going to be sleeving the Dragon right now. He has his own separate one. Don't want to accidentally shuffle him back into the deck, but here they are. Really nice, really nice, really nice. They feel great, of course, as all Dragon Shields do. This is the dual matte. So dual, D-U-A-L, as in the inside is black. Your interior is black. Okay. Cool. So let's put these right here. And we're going to be starting off with our Planeswalkers. So we have Nico Bolas, God Pharaoh. This one is going to be a 7 CMC. He ults at 7. No, sorry, he ults at 12. He goes into the battlefield with 7. The +2, target opponent exiles cards from the top of his or her library until he or she exiles a non-land card. Until end of turn, you may cast that card without paying his mana cost. Comes really useful when you can get him in for free with the Dragon and start taking people's stuff. +1, I don't use it as often, but each opponent exiles 2 cards from his or her hand. -4, you have this card does 7 damage to target opponent or creature an opponent controls. And then the ultimate, exile each non-land permanent your opponents control. Really good board wipe. Get that out in a few turns. So put him in. These are really nice. I like this. Love the art. Fantastic gift. I always love free stuff, especially when they're from friends. Much more meaningful. Second Planeswalker, and I only have 2 in this deck. This is going to be Nico Bolas, Planeswalker, 8 CMC. You have white, 2 black, red. Destroy target non-creature permanent. This is really nice when you want to remove something on the board, and this is what's in your hand when you can put your free item on from the Dragon. So it ults at 9. So with it coming in at 5 loyalty counters already, you only need 2 turns for the ultimate. Okay. The +3, again, destroy target non-creature permanent. You gain control target creature if you want to rock 2 of them off. But once you want to ult after 2 turns, Nico Bolas, Planeswalker, deals 7 damage to target player. That player discards 7 cards and then sacrifices 7 permanents. So you're pretty much locking that player out of the game. Really good card. I don't usually hardcast these very often because they're so expensive. These are great to have in your hand when Dragon has this ability being used. His trigger ability. This one is in pretty much every Dragon deck. Amarith, the Lustrous. So when it enters a battlefield, when another permanent enters a battlefield under my control, you look at the top card of your library. If it shares a card type of that permanent, you may reveal that card and put it into your hand. Whenever I have Maze of Ith out with this, I can take a peek before a permanent goes in. I play, if there's a land and I haven't played land for turn, I bring that land to the top of my library, put the land out. That's pretty much a free card draw right there. Good deck thinning. This one, Atarka, World Render. Everybody loves this in their Dragon deck. Whenever a dragon attacks, everybody gets double strike. Flying Trample, really nasty. Once this is the battlefield, everybody gets worried. Then we have Blade Wing the Risen. This gets a dragon permanent from your graveyard to the battlefield. Once this enters the battlefield, I can pay black-red, and dragon creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. Really good to have in your hand as a backup plan for something important that's on the battlefield gets put into your graveyard. This is the Broodmate Dragon. It's a 6 CMC, 4/4. Whenever this comes into play, you get a 4/4 red dragon token with flying. So pretty much get 2 dragons out of this. Great card. Tuck those in there nice. So we have Deathbringer Regent. This is cost 7, and it's a pretty much a board wipe that also affects you, unfortunately, but that's fine if you're getting a slow start and you want to back everybody up. Bring this guy out, cast him. I like starting this out in my hand, or I like having this in my starting hand, knowing if, like I said, it's going to be slow. I have a backup plan, or I have a reset by turn 4. Get this out by turn 4, that'd be nice. But bring it out before you bring out the Dragon. This also brings out some interaction, counter spells, whatnot. Then you have Destructor Dragon. It's a green 6 CMC, 4/4. Whenever this dies, destroy target non-creature permanent. So people tend to not attack you. Block this, and you can destroy pretty much anything that's non-creature on the board. Then you have Dragonlord's Servant. Makes dragon spells cheaper by 1. It's a 2-drop. Great card. Really pretty art. I like that. Poor goblin. Feeding the dragons. Dragon Lord, actually. Next one is Dragonologist. I actually just got this. I haven't played with it yet in the deck, but found it. Great addition. It's a 3-drop. When this creature enters, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant, sorcery, or dragon card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Then, untapped dragons you control have hexproof. Really nice. I haven't played with it yet. It is a 1/3, but it's a 3-drop. Get it out early. You can look at your cards. You can grab any of 3 different cards, a dragon permanent, instant, or sorcery. You know, great card to have. See how it works. I'm unsure what I took out of there for it, but it's probably why it got traded. This one is going to be the Dragon Speaker Shaman. It's a 3-drop, and it makes your dragons cheaper, just like the Dragon Lord Servant. This makes dragons 2 less. It's a 2/2. Great to get out early in the game. Cheap dragon, especially since you already have the Dragon helping the reduction. Essentially makes dragons 3 less. You have Dramoka the Eternal. This one's really nice, and it triggers multiple times. So it's a 5-drop. Flying. It's a 5/5. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, bolster 2. So what that means is creatures that you control, whoever has the least toughness among creatures, it does not have to be, it does not mean just dragons. So any creature, whoever is the least toughness among them, you put 2 1/1 counters on it. And you do this for each dragon that attacks. So if you have 5 dragons attack, this triggers 5 times. You get 10 plus extra damage, 2 from each dragon attacking. You put it on the weakest creature toughness wise and buff them all up. Really great card to have. Love the pretty foils. especially the pre-release ones. I have a binder full of those. Then you have Coyote, Soul of Kamigawa. This is a 4-drop. I like getting this out early. Whenever it enters a battlefield, another targeted permanent gains indestructible for as long as this card is out under your control. You can play Wedberg, and this creature gets 5/5/5 until end of turn. Flash this in. If you have the extra mana, something is getting targeted to be destroyed or a board wipe. Get this in. I usually attach this to my Dragon. Give him a little extra coverage, protection. Lathless, Dragon Queen. This is becoming more popular. Remember when saw these all over the place at Target. And they were in little promo packs. I think it came with 2 packs, 2 M19 packs, or 2 M20s. I'm not sure. I know it came from M19, but I know they're trying to like get rid of these cards really cheap. It's a 6-drop and it's a 6/6. You're already getting what you pay for, right? But on top of that, whenever a non-token dragon enters a battlefield under my control, create another 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. You pay 2, you get +1 all dragons until end of turn. Fan-freaking-tastic to get this out early. You become an instant target as soon as this comes out. You're getting out free dragons. 5/5s. I like using those 5/5s as chump blockers, because a lot of these dragons hold value on the battlefield. So you're getting some nice chump blockers, whatnot, put onto the battlefield. Then you have Mirim, Sentinel Worm. This has Ward 2, flying. Whenever another non-token dragon enters a battlefield in your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's not legendary if that dragon is legendary. Have this out with the Dragon coming out. You have 2 Dragons. You have 2 Dragon triggers. That gets really nasty really quick. This is a 4-drop with the Dragons Eminence, so you can get this out by turn 3 if you're lucky enough. And you're copying every single dragon that's coming in. Really great card. OG, Nico Bolas. I love this card. When it deals damage to an opponent, they discard their entire hand. It does have a berry cost, so you have to pay blue, black, red at every upkeep, or you have to bury Nico Bolas. But like getting this out for free with the Dragon. Next turn, delete somebody's hand. He's usually out for a turn, maybe 2, because of the berry cost. But if I have Draco Genesis out, then my mana means nothing to me, so he stays out. You have Ojutai, Soul of Winter. It's a 7-drop. It's a 5/6, flying vigilance. Of course, all dragons are flying. I love these foils, man. I try to pimp this deck out. It's my baby. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, tap target non-land permanent an opponent controls. That permanent does not untap during its controller's next untap step. So that's also each dragon. You have 5 dragons, you tap 5 permanents. 5 dragons attacking, not just under your control. So started tapping some important things, maybe some commanders that have tapping abilities, or you know they don't untap, that it's just useless for the turn. Really nice. And tapping some pretty large creatures to get them out of the way so they don't block. Ramos Dragon Engine, definitely an essential for an Dragon deck. It's a 6-drop, 4/4. You get a little bit less for your buck on this one, but whenever you cast a spell, you put a 1/1 counter on Ramos Dragon Engine for each of that spell's color. So if you get you're casting a blue-green, you put 2 1/1 counters on here. And it's any spell that you cast, right? So after that, you can remove 5 1/1 counters from Ramos and you get double Wedberg. 10 mana out of 5 1/1 counters. Activate this ability only once each turn. You have Ramos out, and he casts the Ur Dragon. 5 counters right there. So you can rock those 5 counters. Have 10 mana. You're essentially profiting 1 mana casting the Ur Dragon. And you can follow up the Ur Dragon with some great cards that you have in your hand, buffs, board wipes, what have you. Ramos is a great card to have in your dragon deck. Then you have Revise of the Claw as Menace. It's a 3-drop for a 3/3. So get all what you paid for. After Summoning Sickness is gone, you can tap this for 2 mana in any combination of colors. I can only spend that to cast dragon creature spells. Also, once during each of your turn, you can cast a dragon creature spell from your graveyard. Whenever you cast a dragon creature spell from the graveyard, it gains whenever this creature dies, exile it. So mana rock for your dragons, 2 mana. That's fantastic. Essentially making dragons 2 less with color. And bringing back dragons from the dead. That's gross, man. The next one is going to be a Sagu Waddling. It's going to be a 5-drop for a 3/3, but it also has an Omen. So you can search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And the Omen, I believe, shuffles back into your library. Then you can get the Sagu Waddling back by chance if you really want it. But if you're really needing lands, it costs 1 mana to get you a basic land and put it in your hand. But if you don't need the lands anymore, you can cast a creature and gain 3 life. Not really the top card in the deck, but it does serve a purpose sometimes. It's good if you're in a pickle for mana for your lands. So this one is Sarkhan, Soul of Flame. Another card that brings down the cost of dragons. Makes it 1 less. This is a 3-drop for a 2/4. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield, you may have this card become a copy of it until end of turn, except it's still Sarkhan and is legendary in addition to its other types. So you get an ability. Ur Dragon comes in. You have 2 Ur Dragons till the end of turn. 2 triggers from attacking dragons. Just any dragon coming in gets its abilities for the rest of the turn. Great card. This one is Scourge of Valkas. This is a 6 or 5-drop for a 4/4. Whenever this or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player where X is the number of dragons you control. You can, when a lot of dragons come out at once, you have to remember they see each other all at once. And you can stack this to where you are getting all the dragon damage per piece on each one. So once you start having dragons come out and triggers stacking and more dragons entering the battlefield, this gets really nasty. There's free damage every time a dragon enters. And then this is any dragon creature, not just tokens. So it counts your tokens that enter the battlefield too. Here's a pretty card that I have. This one is a Sprite Dragon, but it's Dorat, the perfect pet. It's a 1/1, costing you 2 mana, flying in haste. So once you drop it, turn 2, you have a creature already swinging. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on this. So again, getting it out by turn 2 is really, really nice. Build it up for later turns. You're already dealing damage. Steel Hellkite, one of my favorites. This is good for removing cheap things on the field or something really nasty if you have some extra mana. So it costs 6 mana. It's a 5/5. You can pay 2 and this creature gets +1/+0 to end a turn. Or You can pay X, and it destroys each non-land permanent with converted mana cost X whose controller was dealt combat damage by this card this turn. Activate only this ability only once each turn. Really good against nasty token decks where they cost nothing. You can smack that player for a quick 5/5 or a 6/6, whatever this is buffed up to, and you can pay 0 and wipe every single of those nasty tokens out, any of those free pesky artifacts that got dropped. Or if you have something else that you're targeting, just pay its mana cost and it's gone, including any other collateral damage that costs the same. This one is going to be Sunscorch Regent. Really nice to get out early in the game. It only costs 5. It's a 4/3. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you can put a 1/1 counter. Or not you can, you must. Put a 1/1 counter on this card and gain 1 life. Get this out by turn 3, turn 4. Everybody's spell that gets cast buffs this guy up and you. Fantastic card to have at the beginning, early on in the game. This becomes a target and everybody starts worrying about it and less about their game plan. So, fantastic card. You have Thrakkus the Butcher, making dragons stronger whenever it attacks. Double the power of each dragon you control until end of turn. So it's not double strike, but you're doubling the power. So 1 strike still, double power. It's a 5 mana drop. It's a 3/4 with trample. Then you have Yosei, the Morning Star. It's a 6 drop for a 5/5. And then whenever it dies, target player skips his or her next untap step. After you choose that player, you tap up to 5 target permanents that player controls. Gonna put somebody behind a whole turn. Great card. Arcane Signet. Of course, I have this in a 5C deck. So now we're getting into the artifacts. Everybody knows what this is. It's a 2-drop. You get 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Chromatic Lantern makes all of your lands tap for 1 mana of any color. This also taps for 1 mana of any color. 3-drop. Great mana fixer. Up next, you have Commander's Fear. You have a 3-drop. Add 1 mana of any color of your commander's color identity. You can sack this and draw a card. And the sacking is not a tapping ability. So you can do this after you tapped it for mana. I even have this in pretty much every deck, even if it's a monocolor deck. Great card draw if you need it. Decanter of Endless Water. This is pretty much the same as Thought Vessel, but you're paying 1 more and getting 1 mana of any color instead of 1 colorless. So no maximum hand size. You're paying an extra tax, so you can have mana of any color. Next is going to be Dragon's Horde. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield in your control, put a gold counter on this. I can tap this, remove a gold counter from this card, and draw a card. So once per turn, unless you can untap it. But if you're not going to use the ability, you can tap it for mana of any color. Good card. Only costs 3 mana. Good usage. Dragonstorm Globe. Each dragon gets additional 1/1 counter on it when it enters the battlefield, and this taps for 1 mana of any color. So usage and mana rocks are what a lot of these artifacts are, of course. Expedition Map. Pay 2, sack this, search your library for a land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. I usually grab a Maze of Ith. Keep the nasty creatures away. Or if I'm absolutely dying for a color and I just cannot move in without it, then I'll grab a Triome of the sort. Felworth Stone, 2 mana. Taps for any color that an opponent controls land-wise. I usually have the old school version in my cards, but I've been giving those away for gifts to people. They're always fascinated when they see it. Herald's Horn. Enters the battlefield. I choose dragons, of course. You just choose a creature type, and they cost 1 less. At the beginning of my upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. Lots of dragons in this deck, so it can be some free card draw. Lightning Greaves. Hasty dragons are the worst, especially a Shroud. Can't target them. Can't deal with them. Beautiful card. I pulled this out of a pack, I remember. I was pretty excited. Mana Geode. Pay 3, 1 mana of any color. Scry for 1. I like having this in my opening hand. Scrying at the beginning. Very useful in my opinion. Very useful. Then we have Mind Stone. 2-drop. Get 1 mana. You can pay 1. Tap, sack, draw a card. So, cheaper than what was that? The Commander Sphere. But it's a tapping ability. So you have to pay and tap to sack and draw. But card draw is always nice when you have the Dragon. Especially when you can put stuff down for free. Orb of the Dragonkind. Orb of Dragonkind. 2-drop. You can pay 1 mana and add 2 mana of any combination of colors. So it's a mana fixer. So essentially this still kind of has a value of 1 mana since you're paying 1 and tapping this. You get 2 mana out of that. You can spend it only to cast dragon spells or activate abilities of dragons. So getting both, that's really nice. You can pay 1 red mana. You can sack this. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Reveal a dragon card from among them and put it into your hand. The rest go into the bottom of the library in any order. Nice to have later in the game when you don't really need the mana for this anymore. Just sack it, get rid of it, get a dragon, put it on the battlefield, hopefully win the game. Sensei's Divining Top. This is one of my favorite cards in the game. It's starting to see some usage now. I don't believe in proxying. I believe in taking your money to your LGS and spending it and supporting them and their families. But, you know, politics aside, I only have 1 Sensei's Top since I'm a player on a budget. And every game, I move this card to the deck I'm playing. This sees some decks. Definitely got to take care of it. But basically, it's a 1-drop. Then you can pay 1 untapping ability. That's very key. You can do this as many times as you want. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. Then you can tap this, draw a card, put this on top of the owner's library. So if you have a card that's just going to win you the game and you see it in those 3 cards, put it on top, draw, you got it. Especially board wipes too. You can, in response to a board wipe that's affecting artifacts also, you can tap this, draw a card, and put this safekeeping into your top of your library. Really like this card. Really great to have early in the game. The infamous Soul Ring. Yeah. I love this one. This one's nice and old. I think this is... forget what this is from. But everybody knows what it does. Borderline banned. I think it belongs. Who cares? If it's in your opening hand, good for you. Good job, man. But every deck has that. One of my new favorites, Spellbook. It's a 0-drop. No maximum hand size. I think I have 4 ways for no maximum hand size in this deck. It's going to be this, Decanter, Reliquary Tower, and Thought Vessel. Those are the 4 ways I don't have maximum hand size. Once I have a lot of dragons attacking, start building hand size. You can get nasty quick. Thought Vessel, there he goes. Just talking about it. Here's a promo. Really pretty. I think this was gifted to me also. Traveler's Amulet, pay 1 to get on the battlefield, and then pay 1 to sack it. Land, land fixing, grab a basic land, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. A lot of mana fixing in this deck. On to the enchantments. So we have Call of the Spirit Dragons. This gives all of your dragons indestructible. The second way, I'll read it and then I'll explain like you're a 5-year-old because it gets confusing sometimes. At the beginning of your upkeep, for each color, put a 1/1 counter on a dragon you control of that color. If you put a 1/1 counter on 5 dragons, this way you win the game. So, you have to have one of each permanent representation of the color, correct? So Dragon can represent one of 5 colors and so on and so forth. And if you have 5 or more separate permanents and they can each represent one of those colors separately, you win the game. And you don't have to wait 5 turns to do this. So if you have 3 dragons that represent a color separately, you're going to put a 1/1 counter on each of those dragons. Now, if you have like 3 red dragons on the board and they're all red, you can only put 1/1 on one of those creatures. But if 2 of them are mono red and one of them is a red black, then you can put a 1/1 counter on one of them for being red, and the red black can get one for being a representation of black. So really cool. And then if you put this down and you already have the 5 dragons, all you have to do is wait till your upkeep and you win the game. You don't have to wait 5 turns. That's another confusing part. People think you have to wait 5 turns, put a 1/1 counter, 5 separate dragons, 5 separate turns. No, if you put 5 1/1s down on 5 separate dragons at the same time correctly, you win the game. Really cool. Especially just giving your dragons indestructible. That on its own makes a card great. But once you're able to lay down your creatures for free with the Dragon, and the Dragon is pretty much a wild card at that point because it can represent any of the 5 colors. Really easy to win the game. But I say really easy. I've only won the game once with that. But I don't get it out often. Crucible Fire. It's a buff. Dragons get 3/3. I like getting this out for free in the middle of combat. It's just a +3/+3 surprise that nobody expected when you get it out for free with your Dragon. Dracogenesis. This was a gift. Really, really nice guy. I never met him in my life. Playing against him with my Dragon deck and the shop we were at. If you signed, you checked in with Champion, right? Companion, the Companion app. They gave out a card every hour to a person, random person. They did like a little Wheel of Fortune, whatever. Random person got a promo pack, and he drew this. And I was playing against him at the time, and he's like, "Hey man, I have no use for this," and handed it to me. So I just went into my trade binder and I gave him a Maze of Ith because I was kind of beating him up a little bit with it, or unbeating myself up from his creatures with it. But cool gift, went straight in my Dragon deck. Definitely a must-have. Once this hits the battlefield, if you can get creatures out fast enough before this gets removed, game's pretty much over. Sleeve her up. Let's admire these sleeves again. I love the texture of Dragon Shield. Feel quality, slide well. Dragon Tempest. So this is like the other dragon that we just had out, right? Scourge. Exactly the same thing, but it's an enchantment. So it gives dragons haste, but the other text is the same. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under control, it damages does X damage, where X is number of dragons you control. So if you have both of these out, triggers twice. Really freaking gross. If you're on the receiving end. And it's only a 2-drop. Great to have at the beginning of the game. Next up is Font of Fertility. This is honestly going to be one of the cards I remove first. You pay 1. It's an enchantment. It's good to have if you're trying to be efficient with your mana and you have extra mana to spend. Sometimes this sits in my hand for 2 or 3 turns until I can spend it because I have more important things I need to get out. So honestly, Font of Fertility is going to get the hatchet here pretty soon. But get some of this Red Bull. Sorry for the squeak. I'm in an old wood chair right now. Ugh. Next up, we have Sarah's Blessing. Costs 2 mana. Vigilance. Fantastic. Vigilant Dragons. Ugh. Say no more. It's just gross. Next enchantment can give your Vigilant Dragons haste to mirror ascendancy. I can't even pronounce that. Creatures you control have haste. Whenever a creature with power 4 or more enters the battlefield under my control, draw a card. Dragons are usually pretty powerful, so that comes in handy. Infamous Counterspell. I think this came from Jace's Spellbook. I love the pretty art on that. Got some pretty old counterspells too that's in my binder. Slide those into the decks I build. Crop Rotation. This is the only game changer in the deck. And funny enough, I had to take this out one time. This is how I found out it was a game changer. I went and played a tournament. I went and played a tournament. I can't talk today. And the rules were it was level 3 decks, just no game changers. So we had to turn our decks in and get them looked at. And I was told Crop Rotation was on the game changer list. Pay 1 mana. It's instant. Pay 1 green. You also have to sacrifice a land. So probably sacking the land that you use to pay for this. Or another basic. Search your library for a land card. Put it onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. Goes onto the battlefield untapped. I use this if I need my Maze of Ith out and something pretty big is attacking me. I know people use it. It's a game changer for other reasons. I wouldn't necessarily say getting your Maze of Ith out and preventing one creature from hitting you is game changing. I know there is a land that gives you protection for a while, but yeah, Crop Rotation being the only game changer. But I do get this out to save myself with Maze of Ith. Next up is going to be Crux of Fate, one of my board wipes. Plain and simple. Choose dragons or no dragons. That's it. I don't think I've ever chose no dragons. Or I'm sorry, I don't think I've ever chose dragons. But Cultivate is next. Costs 3. Look for 2 basic land cards. Reveal them. Put 1 on the battlefield and 1 into your hand. Just some mana ramp. Mana fixing. After that, we're going to pay 4 mana to look for any card in our library and put it in our hand without revealing it. Then, of course, we shuffle our library. Everybody has to shuffle. Diabolic Tutor. I need Demonic Tutor to come out or to go into my deck. I need to buy it. Farseek, pay 2. Look for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain. Everything but a forest. I can only choose one of those, but I put it into the battlefield tapped. does not specify basic lands, so I usually search for a triome, since triomes are already going to the battlefield tap. So you're paying 2 to fetch you a triome. Really nice. Idyllic Tutor, however you say it. 3 mana, you can get you an enchantment, reveal it, put it into your hand. Dracogenesis or what was that? Call Sign of the Dragon. Permanent one. Indestructible. Kodoma's Reach. Pay 3. Get 2 lands, 1 battlefield, 1 hand. More mana ramp. If I want to peek at my cards, I can pay 1 blue. Put them back in any order. Then I can shuffle if I want. Whatever I decide to do, I draw a card after. This one's really cool, really pretty. Love the funky art on it. I love these full art cards. Really cool. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Hungry guy. Shard Convergence. This is one of my favorites. Ultimate mana fix. I can get a Plains, Island, Swamp, and a Mountain card. So instead of just, I can pay 1 more mana and I can get all 4 instead of 1 of the 4. Again, no forest. Put them in your hand. Shuffle your library. Deck thinning a little bit, getting 4 land cards out of the deck and into your hand so you can draw something more important. Vindicate, pay 3, destroy target permanent, anything, land, creature, anything that doesn't have hexproof or shroud. You got it, take care of it, done, fix the problem. Cascading Cataracts. Indestructible. You can tap for a colorless, or you can pay 5 and tap this. So pretty much at the cost of 6 manas, you can get 5 mana in any combination of colors. If you have a bunch of colorless mana sitting around, this will take care of you. Command Tower. Command Tower. Everybody loves this. Staple. So much so it's in every precon deck. So tap it for mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Alright. This is getting pretty tight. So this is double sleeved into a new sleeve. Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. Tap for a colorless, or I can pay 1 and tap this and put a storage counter on this. Later in the future, when you have storage counters, you can tap that, remove however many you want, and use those counters to add mana of any combination into your mana pool. This can only be spent to cast dragon spells or activate abilities of dragons. So again, this card is not limited to just dragon spells. Dragon abilities also is great to have. Keep saying this, but great to have at the beginning of the game because you can start stacking those storage counters. And if you don't have the right mana to get your Dragon out, if you want to cast them, hard cast them for some reason, you have the mana to do it. Darksteel Citadel, indestructible, 1 colorless mana, belongs in every deck. Evolving Wilds. This one's really pretty. Came from the Dungeons and Dragons set. So you can sack this, search your library for your basic land, and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Mana fixing, mana fixing, mana fixing. That was my main focus on building this deck. This was also a challenge for me to build a 5C deck. I had a lot of monocolored decks, and so I just wanted to branch out. Saw Earth Dragon, I was like, yeah, that's a great freaking card, man. And got into it, and I've been building it since then, just constantly finding ways to get the mana right and getting a lot of mana at the same time. Now, some of these lands I am going to be phasing out, such as these guys right here that come into the battlefield tapped and have a choice of 3 lands. The reason why I'm going to take those out. They're going to be replaced with triomes. But these are about 25 to 30 a piece, whereas these are like 50 cents a piece. So every time I see new Capenna packs or Ikoria packs, I try to rip them. Support my LGS. That's the only time I really rip packs, is there's a set that has cards I'm just really needing, or multiple cards that I'm needing. Then I'll buy the pack. But other than that, I'll buy singles or trade, whatnot. But these are going to be one of the cards that do get the boot, and that's when it gets its twin from a Triome family to replace it. But for now, it's just 3 colors, enters tapped. Pretty useless later on in the game, but good in your first couple hands. Haven of the Spirit Dragon. Tap for 1 colorless, or it can tap for a mana of any color to only spend on dragon's creature spells, not abilities. I can pay 2, tap and sack this. So it has to be untapped. I can return target dragon creature or Ugin Planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. Great card to have as a backup plan. Next, we have the Maestro's Theater. There are similar versions of this card that let you search for different things, but this one is going to, you can sack it, search for a basic island, swamp, or mountain card, and put a battlefield tapped. I found that, and you gain 1 life. I found that those colors were the hardest of the 3 for me to consistently get for some reason. So through that card, that was why I chose that card over the other ones. Maze of Ith, the one I keep talking about. Beautiful, full art. It's in every deck. Every time I see it at a shop, I hoard them. I have several of these. I have more than several, more than I'd like to admit. But if this is untapped, you can tap this, and you can untap target attacking creature. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by that creature this turn. Save your butt from a really big nasty creature attacking you. What's great about this is people forget this is even on the battlefield, so they'll swing and I'll go ahead and maze it. I got hit by this so many times that I ended up just putting in my decks. If you can't beat them, join them. So this can also be used as a form of vigilance too. After the damage has been dealt by whoever you're attacking, if you want to untap them after the damage has been dealt, he's still considered a tapped attacking creature. So you can untap him, and you lose the use of the land after he's attacked, but you can make him vigilant if him being untapped is more of a benefit than having this to save you from a big creature. But yeah, I've seen this used many different ways, but very great card to utilize in different situations. Nomad Outpost, another land that's going to be replaced when a Triome gets ripped from a pack. And then we have Path of Ancestry. So this enters the battlefield tapped. Enter mana of any color of your commander's identity. And if the card that you cast shares a creature type with your commander, you spray 1. Great card. So you have Ragrin, Triome. Really pretty. This was a gift. Really nice, selfless gift. So I'll pimp out my deck. But Triome, so let's explain that. So the reason they're worth more: island, mountain, plains. That right there. You can these are searchable. Okay. They do come into the battlefield tapped, but the cycling makes it important too. If you get this later in the game, pay 3, this card turns into a new one. So I'm on the hunt for almost all of them. All of them would be nice. Reliquary Tower, no maximum hand size. Tap for colorless mana. After that, we have the Sand Steep Citadel. Another tri-land that comes in tapped and just represents one of 3 colors. Nothing more, nothing less. Then we have Temple of Deceit. I'm surprised these cards are as cheap as they are. When they first came out, I think they were about $5-6 a piece, and I hoarded all of them. They are tapping lands, but I think scrying holds more value than people give it. That helps you prevent just a bad draw in the next hand. I would much rather, if I have too many lands in my hand already and I put this down and I see lands coming up, putting that in the bottom of the library can help my game go another direction. Here's another temple. We're gonna have a row of temples. These do have a good place in my deck. As you can see, I think I have 4 of them in here, but these aren't going to get cut quite soon. The tri-lands will first, and then after the tri-lands are gone, I will start phasing these out with more triomes. But there are not many times where I would much rather have a tapped land come in and have the ability to scry. Tempo of the Dragon Queen. As this enters the battlefield, I can reveal a dragon card from my hand. If I do, this enters the battlefield untapped. When it enters the battlefield, you have to choose a color, and this taps for mana that chooses a chosen color. So you do have to predetermine your color beginning at the beginning, but it comes in untapped if you want to reveal a dragon. And usually I'm casting a dragon, so I'll just reveal what I'm casting. Temple of the False God. 2 mana if you have 4 other lands on the battlefield, so a total of 5. I like having this. It's in every single one of my decks. Terramorphic Expanse. Tap sack. Land card. Battlefield tapped. And shelf your library. More mana fixing. Thespian Stage. If there's not another land on the battlefield that I want to steal that's piquing my interest, then I have 2 Maze Abyss. It's nice having 2 of those. So copy another land. It stays Thespian Stage. So if you want to copy something else later, you can. Uncharted Haven. Enters the battlefield tap. As it enters, choose a color. 1 mana of the chosen color. Kind of like Path of Ancestry, just without the scrying effect. Unclaimed Territory. Enters the battlefield. Choose a creature type. It can tap for colorless, or it can tap for any color, and has to be spent on creature spells of the chosen type. So not abilities, just spells, but still great card. Here's another triome. Xander's Lounge. This is an island swap mountain. Enters tapped, but you can cycle, paying 3, draw a card. And the third and last triome that I have in this deck is Yatora's Proving Ground. This one's I like the art on that one. Really cool. It's like a little boxing ring. A safe full of gold in the middle. But that is going to be the last non-basic land. And to top it off, I have 10 basic lands. 2 of each color. This is a really cool Theros lands. I have plenty of these. I bought a booster box of Theros. And got a lot of the lands, a lot of the foils. These are kind of my placeholders for now until I can get more of these. The Oiled Slicks from the Phyrexian set. Really hard to find. I just can't see myself buying the packs just to pull these, so I just try to wait and see if I can find these for sale at my LGSs I go to. But really hard to find, really pretty. If you have not seen these, find one and feel it. Those lines that's texture on there. Really nice lands. I have a few of them. I think I got a hold of 20 blue ones. So my Bruvok deck has the rest of them. And then my Dragon deck has 2. So I'm trying to find more. Again, they're expensive. I think they're each above $10 a piece. Right now, I'd rather spend that on cards that have a purpose instead of cosmetically pretty. But here's another Theros land. These are pretty too. Then the second swamp. These pretty much are in here for the sole purpose of if I need to fetch basic lands. I have 2 of each. And everything else has some sort of purpose. And the last card, so that means they gave us 4 extra. They gave us, oh no, oh gosh, that's a lot extra. They gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra. All right, and that is the final one. We have the last forest. Let's pull these guys out. I can't wait to play with these. Oh, that looks neat. That's so cool. Thank you so much for this gift, my friend. Thank you all for watching this also. Please, please, please subscribe. Get your buddies to subscribe. We need to squeeze this into here to get all the air out. There we go. And push that down. There we go. Cool. Just let all the air get out. It'll be fine to play later. Dragon sleeved up. But please get your friends to subscribe. Remember, we're giving these away. Unopened packs of these. Grave Danger and First Flight. Fun starting commander decks. If you like things more powerful, you can give this to a friend that is wanting to get into the game. Precons are really fun to build up to. I have several decks that started out as precons and just kind of worked them up. But yeah, 500 subscribers. The first one of these will be given away. I'll go ahead and throw in a pack of perfect fits and a pack of Dragon Shield sleeves to go with it. We'll get a corresponding color that'll match one of these and put it in there. So yeah, 500 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers. At this video, I think I'm at 124. So let's subscribe, like the video, share the video. Leave down in the comments what you think about this Dragon deck, what you think I should take out, what you think I should add. And we'll be posting some more videos. Appreciate y'all for watching. Thank y'all.